Can AI really help boost your performance at work? Well, let's take a look at the data. A study between Boston Consulting Group and Harvard Business School actually showed that it might not be quite so simple as to whether AI will help improve your performance or perhaps make it even worse. Now, unless you've been living under a incredibly large rock, you're most likely already familiar with the idea of large language models, and ChatGPT being one of the prime most notable examples to come out of the space in recent history and into professional use. ChatGPT and other large language models are particularly interesting because although they've not been trained to do particular tasks, they're actually adept at responding to queries or questions that the model has not been specifically trained to respond to. And that ability that ChatGPT could take on the role or some of the tasks of an expert in a particular field is something that's got a lot of people talking. And the genesis of this particular study, which looks at different ways in which AI can be integrated into the workflow. Now, this study has put forward two distinct ways in which AI can be integrated into professional workflows. The first way is the Centaur approach. Now, that approach splits the human and machine into two separate parts, which is talking about isolating particular tasks that AI is good at, and then delegating those tasks to AI and keeping the human thought component completely separate, only using our thought and our mind to delegate appropriate tasks to ChatGPT or another large language model. The second approach is called the cyborg. That's where human and AI are really riffing off each other, continually interacting, and no task is really seen as outside of the bounds of a combination of the human and large language model working together. Now, if you're enjoying this video, please click the like button. 7% of the consultants at Boston Consulting Group, 758 people, were used in this test. And the groups they were separated into were consultants who could use no AI, consultants who were given access to GPT-4, and then other consultants who were given access to ChatGPT-4 and prompt engineering guides. Now, the tasks that these consultants were asked to do were broken into three categories as well. Tasks that were known to be well inside of the frontier in which AI operates, tasks that were just on the cutting edge but doable by AI, and then tasks that were beyond the current frontier that AI can effectively assist with. So when we picture the frontier of AI development, we often think about it being a very consistent frontier, meaning that tasks of equal difficulty along this line are equally able to be done by AI. But what is actually the case is that it is not as consistent as we often expect. Indeed, the abilities of AI in areas of seemingly similar difficulty by humans is much more varied. And so some tasks that we perceive to be able to be done by an AI that could write a novel or do incredible haikus are actually not possible. Now, out of the 18 tasks that consultants were asked to do that were within that frontier of AI ability, 12.2% more tasks were completed, 25% faster, and determined to be 40% better quality. And those in the group who are the lowest performers improved by 43%, with the highest improving by 17%. Now, this is where it gets interesting. For tasks that are beyond that frontier of what's currently possible with AI, consultants were 19% less likely to come up with a correct solution than those who didn't have any access to AI at all. These are the interesting things about large language models. They can have abilities that they were not specifically trained to have. Just as the data set scales, the abilities grow. They also have domain-specific knowledge and expertise, able to complete some tasks that are surprising to even those who build these tools. The third really interesting insight that this study brought out is that opacity, that inability to see exactly where the abilities of a particular AI model lie or don't lie. And we've seen numerous examples, such as the ChatGPT lawyer who used ChatGPT to help with preparations for court, and it ended up creating cases that did not exist. Some of his responses to the court indicated that he wasn't aware that ChatGPT could even fabricate cases, showing perhaps how opaque that frontier really is. This study highlighted how, when applied to the right areas, AI can be a massive boost for productivity and take a lot of tasks away from human knowledge workers. But applied to the wrong tasks, with expectations beyond AI's current abilities, it can really mess things up. It seems like more and more of us are going past that jagged frontier of AI's abilities and learning just where and where not we can deploy AI to become more productive in our lives. Well, I'll see you later.